Dan Perry here with another C++ tutorial for Dan on Tech. In this video we'll continue our look at random numbers. And in the previous videos we saw how we could use the rand function. We saw how we could generate random integers. Now if we want to generate floating point numbers that are random, we can do that as well. I've changed my rand number variable and made it a double so that it would be a floating point number. And then in that loop where we were generating random numbers before, I'm going to take that rand function and I'm going to, instead of doing a modulus, I'm going to divide it, but I'm going to divide it by max rand. Or I'm sorry, rand max. I'm real bad about reversing those. And I'm going to do this, and when I run it, we're not going to get quite the results we're thinking about, but I'm doing a division, and all my answers were 0. Well, why is that? Well, rand returns an integer, dividing by an integer divided by an integer gives us an integer, and since rand is always less than or equal to rand max, it's always going to give me a value of less than 1. So what I have to do is I have to cast or convert that to a double. And I do that by just before the math operation, in parentheses, I put the word double, and that instructs the compiler to take these results and convert them to a double precision number. So when I run it now, I now have a series of random numbers that are between 0 and 1. I could end up with a 0. I won't end up with a 1, but I could do a 0.9999. So it's somewhere in between 0 and 1 that I'm getting. So that gives us a random number between 0 and 1. Well, what if I want, say, a random number that is between, say, 0 and 10. Well, I can multiply this value by 10, and now I'm going to have a series of random numbers between 0 and 10. So I've got 0 point something, I've got a 1, a 2, so I've got some numbers in that range. So that is one of the methods I can use for getting random numbers. If I wanted 100, we can do 0 to 100, or if I wanted something else, let's say instead of 100, say between 0 and 50, I can multiply that by 50, and now I have random numbers between 0 and 50. So by scaling that fractional number, I can get whatever values I need in a range of random numbers. Well, thank you for watching this Dan on Tech video. Please subscribe to this playlist so you don't miss future videos. Please check out and subscribe to our other Dan on Tech channel playlists.